Have you ever wondered if there's a secret to truly satisfying a woman that only mature men know? In this video, we're diving deep into the psychology behind female pleasure, revealing the key techniques that can transform your intimate life. But more importantly, we're exposing what most men get completely wrong when it comes to satisfying a woman, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally as well. Stay with me until the end, because we're sharing practical, actionable tips that could change the way you connect with your partner forever, helping you build a deeper, more satisfying relationship. And before we begin, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I encourage you to click the subscribe button and ring the notification bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Your support means a lot, and if you find value in this video, please give it a thumbs up to help spread the message. I'm eager to hear your thoughts on today's topic. If you agree that intimacy is about more than just physical pleasure, drop a 1 in the comments. If you disagree, comment 0, let's discuss. Now, let's dive in. Younger men believe pleasure is about performance. They focus on moving faster, lasting longer, or trying the latest technique. But mature men? They understand that pleasure is about presence, confidence, and control. A woman's pleasure starts long before the bedroom. It's in the way you look at her, the way you touch her, and, most importantly, how you make her feel. Women crave certainty and emotional security, and when they sense that a man is truly attuned to them, their body naturally follows. Why women are drawn to men who exude certainty, confidence, and emotional strength. Women don't want to lead in intimacy, they want to feel led by a man who is grounded, confident, and emotionally aware. A man who second-guesses himself, hesitates, or constantly seeks reassurance from her will never ignite that deep, instinctual attraction. But when a man is secure in himself, when he carries a quiet strength that says, "I know who I am, and I know how to take care of you," a woman naturally relaxes into his presence. Confidence isn't about bragging or arrogance, it's about knowing your value and communicating that without words. When a man walks into a room with certainty in his step, when he makes eye contact without looking away too quickly, when he speaks with a calm, steady voice, women pick up on these signals immediately. How attentive listening and patience make a man unforgettable. Most men listen just to respond, mature men listen to understand. And that makes all the difference. Think about the last time a woman told you something personal, maybe about her day, her worries, or something she's passionate about. Did you truly listen? Or were you waiting for your turn to speak? When a woman senses that a man is fully present, that he's not distracted by his phone, his thoughts, or his ego, she feels seen. And when a woman feels seen, she feels safe to open up emotionally and physically. In intimacy, this means not rushing through the experience. It means noticing her breath, her body language, and how she responds to different kinds of touch. A man who takes his time, who explores with curiosity instead of impatience, becomes irresistibly magnetic. The silent cues that tell a woman you truly get her. Women are always communicating, but not always with words. A slight tilt of the head, a shift in posture, a lingering glance, these are silent cues that tell you what she's feeling. The problem? Most men aren't paying attention. A woman might not say, "I need you to slow down," but she might tense up slightly when things move too fast. She might not say, "I love when you do that," but she'll lean into you more, sigh a little deeper, or subtly guide your hands. Mature men read between the lines. They know that intimacy isn't just about doing things to a woman, it's about experiencing her responses and adjusting in the moment. That's the difference between a man she enjoys and a man she craves. The overlooked pleasure zones and techniques that work. Most men think pleasure is just about one area, but the body is a network of untapped pleasure zones. True masters of intimacy know that it's not just about where you touch, but how you touch. Women's bodies are highly responsive to anticipation, subtlety, and sensory buildup, and mature men use this to their advantage. Breaking the myth of just technique. Pleasure is a full-body experience. Many men fall into the trap of thinking technique alone is the secret to pleasure. They assume that if they just find the right motion, speed, or position, they'll unlock instant satisfaction. But real pleasure is about engagement of the senses, not just mechanical movements. When a woman feels stimulated in multiple ways, mentally, emotionally, and physically, her arousal heightens. Instead of focusing on one spot, learn how to create waves of pleasure throughout her entire body. The more areas you engage, the more intense and lasting the experience becomes. Key areas to focus on: the neck and behind the ears, sensory hotspots that build anticipation. Most men ignore these areas, but the truth is, the neck and the area behind the ears are incredibly sensitive. A soft touch, a gentle kiss, or even just breathing warm air against her skin can send shivers down her spine. Women often react more intensely to subtle, teasing sensations than to direct contact. The power of breath and whispers. Creating deep intimacy through sound. Your voice and breath are more powerful than you think. Whispering slow, confident words near her ear or exhaling gently on her skin heightens anticipation. The key is to keep your tone steady and controlled. Rushing or sounding nervous breaks the mood. Slow, controlled touch. Why rushing destroys the buildup of anticipation. Many men make the mistake of moving too quickly. But slowing down makes every touch more electric. Run your fingertips lightly over her skin, pausing just long enough to let her body process the sensation and crave more. The longer you hold back, the stronger her response will be. The clitoral connection. The most misunderstood pleasure point. The clitoris has 8,000 nerve endings, making it one of the most sensitive parts of her body. But the secret isn't pressure or speed, it's about reading her responses. Some women prefer gentle, teasing strokes, while others enjoy more consistent rhythm. Pay attention to how she moves toward or away from your touch. That's her telling you exactly what she likes. The art of teasing and playfulness. How withholding increases desire. There's a reason why delayed gratification makes pleasure more intense. Instead of going straight to the most obvious areas, build up anticipation by teasing and retreating. This makes her yearn for your touch, which increases overall sensitivity and excitement. Have you ever paid attention to how she reacts to light touches on her neck? If not, you're missing a golden opportunity. Destroying the myths that keep men stuck. There are so many myths about female pleasure that keep men from fully satisfying their partners. These myths have been passed around for years, and unfortunately, they've left many men feeling confused, frustrated, and even inadequate. Let's break them down and uncover the real truths about female pleasure. Myth: deep penetration is the key to pleasure. A lot of men assume that the deeper they go, the better it feels for a woman. Wrong. The reality is that most of the highly sensitive nerve endings responsible for pleasure are actually closer to the surface. The clitoris, for example, has over 8,000 nerve endings, making it the most sensitive part of the female body, and it's entirely external. Instead of focusing on depth, think about pressure, rhythm, and overall sensation. Some women may enjoy deep penetration, but for most, it's not the key to orgasm. The right pace, touch, and build-up will always outperform depth alone. Myth: faster means better. In movies and TV shows, we see fast, aggressive movements being portrayed as the ultimate way to drive a woman wild. In reality, most women find this approach overwhelming, or worse, numbing. Women respond best to rhythm, anticipation, and gradual build-up. Fast, repetitive movements can be desensitizing rather than pleasurable. Think of intimacy like music. Sometimes slow, sensual beats create far more impact than loud, chaotic noise. Myth: if she loves me, she'll tell me what she wants. Many men assume that if a woman wants something different, she'll just say so. But here's the truth: most women won't outright tell you what they want in bed. Not because they don't trust you, but because they expect you to naturally figure it out. Women often feel embarrassed or unsure about expressing their desires, especially if they've been with men who didn't prioritize their pleasure in the past. Instead of waiting for her to spell it out, pay attention to her subtle cues, her breathing, her body movements, the way she reacts to your touch. These signals will tell you everything you need to know. Corrective advice: slow down, pay attention, and read her signals instead of following outdated myths. Focus on what actually works. Slow down. Women need time to build arousal. Rushing through the experience only makes her body tense up rather than open up. Take your time, let the anticipation build. Watch her reactions instead of assuming. Observe how she responds to your touch. Does she lean in? Does she breathe deeper? Those are signs that she's enjoying it. Use more than just your hands. Your voice, your breath, and even your eye contact can enhance pleasure. A simple whisper in her ear or a deep gaze can be just as powerful as touch. Vary the rhythm. Don't be predictable. Alternate between soft, slow movements and firmer, more intentional touches. This contrast heightens sensitivity and keeps her engaged. Have you ever believed one of these myths before? Drop a yes in the comments if you've heard these misconceptions, and let's change the way we approach intimacy. What's happening in her brain during intimacy? During climax, a woman's brain enters a state of deep relaxation, similar to meditation or a trance-like state. This is not just physical, it's neurological. Her brain releases a rush of oxytocin, dopamine, and endorphins, creating a feeling of euphoria, deep connection, and emotional bonding. This is why, when done right, intimacy becomes more than just an act, it becomes a powerful emotional experience. But here's the catch: this deep connection only happens when she feels completely safe, emotionally engaged, and free from distraction. If a man is rushing, disconnected, or too focused on his own performance, it interrupts this process and makes it harder for her to fully surrender to pleasure. Tension, build up, and release mimic emotional bonding. Think about a great romantic movie. The chemistry builds slowly, the longing looks, the lingering touches, the anticipation of something deeper. That's what creates an emotional high. Intimacy works the same way. The longer the build-up, the stronger the release. When a woman is allowed to experience this gradual climb in pleasure, her brain associates the man with emotional depth, trust, and desire. This is what makes intimacy unforgettable. On the other hand, if the experience feels rushed, mechanical, or disconnected, it doesn't trigger the same deep emotional bond. Instead, it feels transactional, and over time, this can lead to dissatisfaction in the relationship. The more emotionally secure a woman feels, the more physically uninhibited she becomes. A woman's ability to experience full pleasure isn't just about technique, it's about how emotionally comfortable she feels with her partner. Studies show that when a woman feels safe, desired, and deeply connected, she's more responsive, more adventurous, and more open to intimacy. Mature men understand this. They don't just focus on what happens in the bedroom, they create emotional security outside of it. They communicate, they listen, they make a woman feel valued and cherished. And when a woman feels this way, she lets go of inhibitions because she knows she's with someone who truly understands her. How to use eye contact, body language, and presence to enhance intimacy. Physical connection alone isn't enough. The most intense, emotionally charged experiences happen when a man is fully present. Eye contact: when you maintain steady, confident eye contact, it makes a woman feel deeply connected to you. This simple act can intensify the emotional and physical experience. Body language: if you're stiff, hesitant, or distracted, she will sense it immediately. Relax into the moment, move with intention, and let your touch be deliberate yet gentle. Being present: women can tell when a man's mind is elsewhere. If you're thinking about the next move instead of being in the moment, she will feel it. Focus on the present, feel her energy, respond to her movements, and let the experience flow naturally. Have you ever noticed how much more intense an experience is when there's strong eye contact and emotional connection? Drop a flame in the comments if you agree. When you understand what's happening in a woman's mind and body during intimacy, you gain a level of connection that most men never reach. This is what separates average lovers from unforgettable ones. Pleasure isn't just about technique, it's about connection. Mature men understand that intimacy is an art, not a checklist. The difference between a man who is forgettable and a man who leaves a lasting impact isn't just about what he does, it's about how he makes a woman feel. Women don't just want a man who knows what he's doing, they want a man who understands them deeply. A man who is patient, attentive, and present. A man who creates an emotional experience, not just a physical one. This is why mature men have the edge. They don't rush, they don't assume, and they don't focus on just one part of the experience. They take their time, they build anticipation, and they know that the most powerful form of intimacy is one where a woman feels safe, desired, and completely connected. Drop a 1 if you're ready to approach intimacy in a way that most men never will. If you found this helpful, don't forget to subscribe. We dive into topics most people are afraid to talk about. This is how mature men separate themselves from the rest. If you want to elevate your connection, apply what you've learned today.